Hello everyone, this is Josh Explain Place, and today we continue to grow and expand our city of New Austin in this episode number 15. Let's begin. In our last episode, we were able to create this really nice new neighborhood, and I think that it's filling out really nicely. We have a public library, we have fire and police station, we have a little clinic, and we have the cemetery, and I think that it's growing really nice. I left a couple of things open. First of all, the outside. I think that in this side maybe we can continue having some more roads for residential, and same thing here in this side. And for this really cool area where there's a lot of trees, I think I wanted to do a nice park. So maybe we can start here and expand all the way here, or maybe we can zone a little bit more and then just have our park be all this area, which I think is going to look really nice and really cool. We also fixed this traffic issue that we had, and I think that things are running really a whole lot better. Maybe in here just take off that stop sign. And so things are working well. We don't have this street be as congested as it used to be because of this really cool overpass. We also worked a little bit on this side of the quarry, and I am gonna put this here. And so I think this is where things are gonna be winding down a little bit, based on the fact that the resource is being depleted little by little. And again, we've already used a whole lot of it here. We're gonna continue zoning in this area. I mean, replacing the pits into this area. And so again, little by little, things are gonna wind down in this specialty district, industrial district. And I love this animation. It looks really cool. We haven't unlocked the large one, and I think that's the one that looks the best. And so far this area right now is not giving us any money, but that's because we hadn't moved a couple of these mines to where there's actually some resource. So I think that's gonna affect our revenue. And again, this is one of the reasons why these non-renewable specialized industries aren't that good to place down. They are good if you really wanna plop as many unique factories as possible, and you want the resources, and you want to be able to have the resources right away. But overall, I really think it's more of a hassle than it is worth it. The ones that are worth it are both the agricultural one and the forestry one, that I think we should be able to plop down. After we're done with this, we'll just plant a lot of trees, and then we can actually start a forestry area in this side, at least on this really cool side, and maybe we can make it a park later on, but not right away. Again, our subdivision Lilac Park is growing nicely, and I think what we're gonna focus on today, at least at the beginning, is to work on this pedestrian district. I think that we have enough demand for commercial and office, and so I think this is gonna work really well here. So let me just expand the roads and we'll be back. So we have laid down some roads and pedestrian roads for this zone, so that all of this is gonna be mostly pedestrian. I also changed this overpass a little bit. I didn't think that this kind of made sense to just go straight and miss this intersection. So what I did was just continue this road and link it to the other. So I think that's gonna work a little bit better, and I think that works a little bit better than it used to. For some reason, people are still using this pedestrian pathway, and so they can do as they please. That shouldn't be an issue for us. And I do not think that we can. Yeah, I don't think we can do this. But yeah, I think this is gonna be a little bit too much. So we'll figure out later. We might actually just delete this walking path by itself. I did wanna create a little district maybe here, so we can zone this for the leisure. It's gonna be just for this little piece. There you go. And let's see what else we can zone, and maybe we can do. Well, let me pause the game really quick. Let me zone it, and we'll run the game in a bit. I think that developed rather nicely, and I think this is gonna be really good, and we can wait to make sure this grows a little bit more. What this is going to help us with is to start increasing demand for residential, and thus increasing our population in order for us to get to Colossal City. And after Colossal we have Metropolis, and then Megalopolis, where we are able to unlock, thanks to one of the 2 mods that we actually use in this vanilla playthrough. So we have a long way to go. We have to at least double the population that we have right now, because of the way this map is. The Megalopolis population that needs to be reached in order to get to this milestone is 95,000 people. So it's a lot. Again, it's double what we have. And so our next milestone is reaching Colossal City, which is 11 more thousand people that we need. And people are not moving in here because there's no need for anything else. There's very low demand for residential, very low demand for industrial or offices, which I'm still gonna place this here, and maybe put one or two little plazas, one here and one here, and just one right here, and we'll put a walking path. And you know what, maybe let's just put another one. There you go. Traffic it's okay. I think the fact that we added another road here made a difference. And like I mentioned before, maybe in the near future we can do the same thing here as we did here, because this is becoming a little bit problematic just because these people wanna turn left. And you know what, let me just take out the zoning for this, and let me change also to add this zone, and that way we can start working on creating this situation, this basically overpass in here too. So I'm also gonna move this here and this here, and I think this is gonna be just perfect. So let me pause the game and let me try to replicate what we did here in this area, and we'll be back. And I think this is working well enough. Of course, like I keep mentioning, this there's gonna be traffic no matter what. Also to note, as you can see here, this is basically having another expressway running through. Of course, the frontage roads are not connected, but it's really getting very close to the way that this thing is being laid out. So maybe in the near future we can make this type of highway, which is the 4-lane two-way highway. I think there was yet another one that would be a four-way, six-way, basically two-way highway. I think that would be great, and better integration with the exit ramps. But otherwise, I think things are working well. I mean, it's gonna be busy, so that's the way that it's gonna go. I do think that we might need to change this also, but we'll wait. Maybe we can do an actual bus road in here, or maybe we just delete this entrance and that should be it. Maybe we can add it here. We'll see. Again, it's flowing a little bit better, and in here things are working, I think, a whole lot better, so I'm not gonna complain for right now. And as you can see, the need for residential shut up a lot, and I think that we can, let's see, maybe let's take down these stop signs so people can leave a lot faster. I think we have enough electricity running through everything that we're okay deleting this and zoning at least this large piece and this large piece as residential, and that should start opening up fast. And I think that I'm gonna start opening this up just a little bit, and I think doing this should be fine too. It's gonna be a little bit different, but I think this is gonna work also really well. And we are gonna place down walking path. I don't think, yeah, maybe we won't be able to place them. Well, we might be able to. Let's see. Yeah, I think we should be able. I think that's gonna look really, really nice. So let me put down these pathways and we'll be back. And well, I think this is gonna take just a little bit more to grow, but I think we made this look also very nice. This, you can complain a little bit about this. It's not as nicely done as I would have liked, but I think it's gonna work really, really well. Maybe we can actually put this 3x3 park, and maybe this 2x2, and then we'll add a whole bunch of trees and make sure there's water, and I think that's gonna be really nice for this huge cul-de-sac. And so once again we were able to satisfy the demand for residential, and as you can see here, the population didn't go up that much, which means that we must do something with high density residential in order to continue. I don't kind of want to do that, but in this case we do want to start going a little bit faster when it comes to having our population grow. And so the next thing that I'm going to do is I am going to extend these roads, and I am going to put another avenue here so we can extend this brook district. I'll lay down the roads, put the water, and be back in a bit. Well, I think this is looking really, really nice. We have an issue with the university. Um, as you can see here, it says the campus area will get no tuition fees as long as the administration building is not working. I don't see how it's not working. There's everything, so let me just put it here. There you go. I have no clue why that was happening. Let's try to put it back in. Where was it? In here. Yeah, there you go. Let me just fix these walkways and we'll be back. There you go, and things are working well once again. So there's two things that I wanna change in here. The first one would be to actually change these red loop lines to be able to get to this other side, and to actually expand this purple line to get into this square. So let me first have these roads meet, and I'll start changing the lines. Okay, I think that's gonna work a little bit better, because now we have this huge line in here. Well, we could have it, but we broke it down into two. There's a couple of reasons why I left this open. The first one is because, well, the main one is the fact that I might want to put an inner city bus station here. And the other one is because whenever I'm building subdivisions like this and they're just next to regular avenues, such as this and this, I do like to have commercial areas in this intersection. Let me show you really quick what I mean. So I'm gonna draw a little square. Well, let me move this just really quick. And the way this works, and this is gonna work a little bit different, is that I would put down some roads like this, making sure that there's 4 blocks, a 4x4 blank space in the middle. Then I put some walkways, and this is mostly to make it seem a little bit nicer. Then I would put some fencing here and here. And again, this all depends on how you wanna detail your city. Put some of this vegetation here, and then put 1 or 2 trees in here. It's gonna be 1. Let's put another one here and here. And I would do the same thing on the other side, but in this one it's a little bit different because of what we did. Then I would get this and zone it, but I am gonna change the style to modern city center. Then I would zone this, and we will end up with something that should look really nice. So let's just wait to see how this goes. I think that's as much as we're gonna get for this one, but as you can see, you get a really nice square of commercial buildings with a really nice plaza in the middle. And so you have commercial buildings right next to your residential areas, and that does help a lot. So that's what I wanted to do here, but of course we have to modify it based on this. And that way you also have an area to have some bus stops without having the need for them to be in the main avenue. So for example, this one I'm gonna move here. This one I'm gonna move here, and I don't think there's anything else. And this one let's move here, and this one let's move. Yeah, this one is fine because it's the one that's gonna go around. And let's change this here back to where it was. And again, you have some more space to put down some of those bus lines. Again, I do want to plop down, maybe we can do this here, plop down the big nice bus station, or we can do the inner city bus station. I think either one is gonna be great, but I think we might want to place them down maybe around here, and have, or maybe just a little bit more in here, and have the buses, all these bus lines converge in this area. We do have high demand for residential, so the first thing that I'm gonna do here is, I forgot to add 2 plazas on this side, so we're gonna add the 2 plazas on this side. And then we're gonna zone for commercial, for office, and we are gonna zone all this for residential. I think we should be fine with electricity. Maybe we're gonna need, you know what, let's just try to replace this with a larger treatment plant. I think this is gonna work. like that. And maybe let's just add another water tower here, and I think that should be enough. In terms of garbage, we are also gonna need some more. We're also gonna need some more of this. So let me just place down 2 more because this is gonna be growing. So it's gonna be 2 more. In terms of education, we should be fine for right now, but we're also, of course, gonna add another high school in here, and this library is gonna be fine. In terms of health, everything's fine with childcare, elder care, and everything else. So let's run this game now that we have sown for all of these in here, and let's see how much our population grows. We are at 44,806, and let this game run. And I think this is growing rather nicely. Of course, the population didn't grow that much, but little by little it's going to be growing, especially with all this expansion to the high density residential. And one of the reasons we do this, just to recap, this we're trying to do as to make it look medium density residential, which is something that we do not have in City Skylines. So what we did is only allow for 3 squares to be built, and also we have the policy that doesn't allow any high rises in this area. And we chose the green buildings just because they look a little bit nicer in here. Also because of the unrealistic population way that the game has, we would have liked to have more subdivisions like these, more neighborhoods, but we don't have as many tiles. Even with the base game playing completely vanilla, you only unlock 9, which you may think it's a lot, but it's really not that much, and you have a lot of limitations there. And so because we cannot have that many more tiles open whenever we reach a milestone, it's basically 1 tile every other milestone, or every milestone afterwards, but we need to actually have high density population, which is something that I didn't want to do, but we have to, because we need to keep on growing this city and getting all the tiles so we can work on these huge highway expansions that I want to do. We're going to do the loop, we're going to do the fixing all this, which I completely dislike, and that's how it's gonna go. Also, I am gonna plop down a couple of crematoriums. I think we are having, of course, sort of death wave, and let me just plop down 2 in here, and we're gonna do random, and we're gonna place down a little parking lot, a 2x2 parking lot that I created in the asset creator option. We are also gonna start emptying this one, and I think that should be it for right now in terms of death care. With the building of these two crematoriums, I think it's gonna work really nice and really well. Before we go, let's take a look at our line. So let's take a look at this bright pink line. As you can see, it's getting a lot of use, a lot of use, which means that more than likely in the near future we're gonna have to do a subway line here. So I'm gonna do the articulated buses, and I'm gonna increase this to 100. Let's do 150, which means 17 buses, and hopefully that's gonna help. Again, the the more public transportation you plop down, the more it's gonna be used. So it's really recommended you do it. Let's make this line a little bit longer before we take a look at it. Yeah, that should be fine. So let's take a look at these loop lines. Again, I think we're fine with having. Let's also increase it to 150. I think that's gonna help with traffic a lot. And I think we're gonna do the same one for this one. Yeah, definitely 150. There's 1,200 people waiting on this side. Let's see how this green line is doing. It's one of the largest lines, I think. It's 7.3 kilometers. This one is doing well. I think we should decrease this to 185. And I think that also should be fine. This blue line, which is 6 kilometers, this one is working really well. There's no issues. Let's take a look at this green line. And yeah, this one is being very, very busy. I'm also going to change this to the articulated one and also increasing to 150. There's a lot of people that wanna use these lines, and that's always really good. You know, the more people want to use public transportation, the less traffic you are gonna get. This little line is hardly being used, but I think it's fine. This other blue line is working really well. I think it's fine. It's 6.4 kilometers. And yeah, our longest line, I think, as of right now, is this green one with 7.2. If I'm not mistaken, 7.3. There you go. This other red line is also working really well. And I don't think we should change this to the extended bus ones. For this, also this really cool bus line with the double-decker buses, it's also working really nice. And last but not least, this really small line, it's also being used a lot. So let me just change this to the 40 capacity, and I am also going to increase this to 150 to make sure that we have 6 buses, and that should help hopefully into what we're doing. Oh yeah, and last but not least, let's take a look at this green line, which is working well. It's not being used as much as it used to, so let's maybe just lower this down a bit, and I am going to change. Well, no, I think that's fine. You know what, let's just add a stop here. That way, if people wanna start on this line, they can go. I think that's gonna work really well. And I think that's it for these slides. Again, we're doing really well when it comes to public transportation. Of course, we can always do better, and this train line is also being used a lot. Once the city starts growing more, once the population can get a little bit more realistic, and I think once we reach megalopolis, we can start all these new additions with having, for example, in this line we'll have a subway. Definitely that there has to be a subway. There's no reason why it can't. With the university, it's taking a little bit longer, but I think once we start having more population, a population increase, which it's taking a little bit too long, I don't know why, we'll have this be a little bit different. Let me see if I can move this stop sign here, this bus stop here, that way there's no traffic flow issues. And I think at least for right now, I am gonna upgrade these roads. And I think last but not least, I'm gonna change this one here and this one here, and that's why definitely it is very important to have bus stations that are dedicated to these buses and have roads long enough to have these buses not be a traffic issue where when they're getting their into the bus station. And I think again we do need a bus station here. I think it is the perfect place. We have one just right here, and I think another one here would be just better. And yes, maybe we can have a line go from here all the way here, which is gonna look really good. Another thing that we can do, and I really don't like it, but maybe for this city we can do it, is the trolley buses, basically, which are buses that run through an electric line in a road. And maybe we can try that. I don't see why not. Maybe that can be our answer here, or maybe we can actually do the trams. I actually like the trams a lot. I think they look really, really cool, and they're not as intrusive as buses or trolley buses. I think that's one of the positive aspects of it. So I think that whether we decide to use a tram here, which would be the best option, and maybe another tram in here and another one here, that would work really, really great. And again, just to recap, we were able to grow these two districts. This pedestrian district that is looking rather nice, very, very nice. And we also grew this other district that is also looking very, very nice, that it has more room to grow. And we also fix or try to fix this traffic issue. And again, I think that it's working well enough. Things are moving along. It's gonna be a busy intersection, but things are moving along. The other next thing that we can do here is just to create or to make this an actual expressway, which is something interesting that I don't want to do, but you know, if the need arises, we might have to do it. Something else that have to do is to run these frontage roads all together to make it seem more like a real Texas city and Texas highway. Otherwise, I think this is where we're gonna stop with this episode 15. We were able to accomplish maybe not a lot, but we did expand our commercial, our office, and our residential districts, especially high density, by a lot. And I think that is a win for this episode 15. We do need to grow more. We do need to get to the next milestone because we do need to start and keep unlocking more tiles to grow the city, especially with low density zoning. So let's see how that works out. As always, I do want to thank you for watching, liking, commenting, and subscribing to this channel and to this video. And as always, stay safe, and we'll see each other in the next episode. Thank you.